Hello artists, Miss Simmons here. Today we're going to make some pattern notans. In Japan, they call these notans, which refers to the balance of light and dark. You're going to need 3 different pieces of construction paper. They can be whatever colors you want. I have black for my background, and then I have a piece of yellow and a piece of blue. You're also going to need a pencil, a ruler, scissors, and glue. It can be whatever kind of glue you have around. I have white glue. Now, the first thing we have to do is cut our paper, because if you look at my finished picture again, the way this works, I make a square for my background. So I'm going to cut my black into a square. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. Then I make smaller squares for each of my colors. Then I cut a design in. So the square gets glued on this side and the design flips to that side to create this checkerboard pattern. So we have to make some squares that will all fit our paper. We're going to start by cutting our background. Regular construction paper that you buy in a package at a store is typically 9 inches by 12 inches. So we need to make it a square, which means I need to cut 3 inches off. So what I'm going to do is line up my ruler, and I'm going to find 9, and I'm going to put a little mark. And then I'm going to come to this side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find 9, put a little mark. Then I can draw across. And it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. You can always trim up your edges later. But we do need it to be square. And now I can cut off . Now, if you have any little bits of pencil still showing on this side, you can always make this the back, jot your name on it, and flip it over so that this side is the front. Okay, now I'm going to set my square to the side because I had just finished cutting it to 9 by 9 for my background. Now I need to cut my colored pages into 2 1/4 inches. So I have 2 different colors here. I'm going to leave my paper stacked up together because I trust that I can cut them together and keep them the same. I'm going to get my ruler, and I'm going to start by making a strip that is 2 1/4 inches. So just like I did with my black paper, I'm going to find 2 1/4 on my ruler, and then I'm going to scoot over to the other side and find 2 1/4. And then I'll draw my line. And I'm just going to hold my 2 pages together while I cut. If you're worried about keeping it straight, you can always draw lines on each color and cut them separate. Next, I'm going to put my ruler down, and I'm just going to use the middle this time, and I'm going to mark 2 1/4, then scooch my ruler and do it again. Now I can just snip it straight across. Make sure you keep those pages together if you're cutting them both at the same time. Now my last squares might not be the right. Oh, they're all right. Good. Okay, so I have a little stack. I will probably need a second row, so I'll go ahead and do that quickly. It's the same process. I put my ruler down, mark it at 2 1/4, 2 1/4, and it's perfectly fine if you need to get an adult to help you measure and cut your paper the right way. Okay. 2 1/4 inches. Okay, now I can set my ruler to the side, but I'm still going to need my scissors. Now, this is where it gets to be really fun. So you'll notice I left my colors stacked up, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. I'm going to create a pattern. I'm going to start in this top corner with yellow, cut my design, and then the next space is going to be blue. So when you're making your designs, you want to cut from one side only. So I'm going to start really simple. I'm going to cut in, and I'm going to make just an organic shape, a wobbly, wiggly, made-up shape. And I'm going to put it down so that the open side is facing the inside of my page. Now I'm just going to set this piece to the side for just a second. I'm going to go ahead and glue my first part. And I'm just putting a thin layer of glue all around because I want it to stick good and flat. And it's okay if it's not perfectly lined up on your edges. You can always trim the extra off when you're all done. Now once I've got this stuck, then I'm going to match my puzzle piece. Whoop. My glue got slippery there. So I'm matching my puzzle piece up to make sure I have it facing the right way. And then I'll put the glue on it and give it a flip. You want the cut edge right here to line up. Then you just press it down. Now, my next one is going to be blue. And it's going to come right underneath. I'm going to line it up right here. So I'm going to go ahead, and this time maybe I'll make a pattern, a design that is pointy. Only cutting from one side of my shape. I can make it as simple or as complicated as I want. Now I'm going to put this box so that the corners touch. So I'll go ahead and put my glue on it. And when I stick it down, I want to make sure the corner touches the yellow. Then I match my puzzle piece back up, put my glue on it, and give it a flip. You're going to keep going with your pattern until you reach the bottom of your page. You could also do 2 shapes. So I'm going to cut out 2 shapes from the same side, like that. Okay, now I want this to go this way, so I got to make sure I put it the right way before I put the glue on. And I line my corners up. Put my puzzle pieces back in. Glue. And flip. Make sure when you flip it that you straighten it up so that it matches where you cut it out. There we go. Now my last one for this row. I kind of like this, making the blue ones spiky and the yellow ones wiggly. It's kind of a fun change. Okay, I make sure my corners are going to line up. Oh, I have it up backwards. It's got to be open to the right direction. Okay, glue it. And flip it. This is not something you want to try and do very quickly, because then you're more likely to make a mistake and glue something the wrong direction. That's why I always like to match up my puzzle pieces before I put my glue on them. By alternating our colors like this, we're creating pattern and balance using the positive and negative space. Okay, now I'm not going to worry about this little extra black right here, because when I'm done I can just give it a trim. Okay, now I can either start down here at the bottom with my yellow, or I can come up to the top and start with my next blue. I'm going to go ahead and put my yellow to the side and do my blue one up here at the top next, because it's really easy to line up this corner, whereas with the yellow I would have to line it up on this side first, and I might accidentally leave too much space in this gap. So I'm going to go ahead and do my blue next. And I'm going to put my corner so that it touches this first blue one right here. Just like that. Fit my puzzle piece back in, give it some glue, and then flip it out. Now don't worry about extra little bits of glue that get on around the edges. If you just let it dry, the glue dries clear. If you try and rub all around it, you're going to get dirt from your hands inside that glue, and then it's not going to be clear anymore. So like I've got a little blob of glue right here. I'm just going to leave it and let it dry. And you can see I'm rubbing my fingers. I got a little glue on my fingers. If I rub that glue on my fingers, it'll dry and ball up, and then I can just brush it off. And I don't have to worry about getting my hands wet until I'm done. Then I can get the water out and wash my hands. But I don't want to get my construction paper wet. Okay, now I'm back to my wiggly yellows. And it's going to line up right over here. And you can see that I didn't quite get my black paper cut perfect to go with my squares. When I put my yellow down, it doesn't reach all the way to the edge. That's okay. I'd rather have my paper be a little too big than too small, because I can always trim the extra off after I do my last two squares. Give it a flip. Yep. Okay, I made a little bit of a mess with that one. I put a little too much glue. Let's get a blue one. And I've only got two more. Move that so that y'all can see. Now remember, you can always pause the videos and come back. So don't stress yourself out if I'm going too fast for you. Okay. Now I got a little off here. My blue square was a little bigger than it needed to be, so you can see it sticks off a little. I can do two things. I can leave it because it's just one little mistake, or before the glue sets, I can just peel it up a little and trim it, and trim my cutout too, so that it matches a little bit better. That's a little better. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit better. Now I can put my glue on my cutout and give it a flip. Okay, only one more. Just a wiggly yellow. Okay. The corner is going to need to go right there. Alright, now, when you finish gluing all your pieces down, you should let your glue dry. And when your glue is dry, all you have to do to trim off that extra is go down the edge with your scissors, which I'm going to do. I'm going to scooch this one. There we go. So that it fits a little better. So I'm going to come down my edge here and just cut off a little bit. I might need to cut it a little bit more. There. So that my edges are just a little bit straighter. Have a great time creating your Notans. I can't wait to see what they look like. Make sure you send me a picture through Canvas. Have a great Gator day.